Alright, so I'm going to try and carbon fibre just the tip. Had a little bit of damage the other day, so I've got some carbon fibre twill. This stuff's pretty good. You can actually cut it without it fraying a lot. So there's my piece that I'm actually going to use. I have my epoxy and hardener, and I'm going to weigh it out to get the right measurement. So it's 1 part hardener, 5 parts of epoxy. Let's do this. Grams. So 5 grams of hardener. So 5 to 25. So I need a total of 30 grams. So that hardener should not take, it shouldn't harden straight away, but I'm working in 30 plus degrees, so I'm not going to muck around too much to try and get this done. So first we layer some epoxy first. So the epoxy adds strength as well, so just having epoxy down will actually help harden the plastic. And also the idea is to let that tack off, so you let it sit for a while and then it sort of gets a bit harder. But again, the temperature I'm working in, I'm just going to go straight for it. Lay on my carbon fibre. Notice I've got gloves on because this stuff sticks to shit like a bee. And then now we get that epoxy all through the carbon fibre now. Yeah, so what's going to happen is once I finish this and it's all hardened, I'll come back and Dremel it off. So whatever excess I've got, I'll come through with a Dremel and peel it all back. So now the carbon fiber's soaked with resin. So I'll just trim all that off later on. That's pretty much all that needs to be done. Once that's hardened, we come back, Dremel it off, and we're good to go. I'm just going to add a little bit more to this top edge as well. I'm trying to get some strength on this. It acts like a little bit of a splitter. You can see how it's still moving around. That's because that first bit of epoxy that I laid down hasn't tacked off. So ideally when you're doing a bigger job, you apply the epoxy, let it tack off, and then when the carbon sits on it, it stops it from moving around. You can still get it to work this way, it's just not as easy because the carbon wants to move around all the time on you, like that. And then, carbon fibre is nice and light, But the more, I've got 30 odd grams of epoxy here, so if I apply all that epoxy, I'm applying 30 grams worth of material in epoxy. I'm just making sure it's all plenty of in there, it's nice and soaked into all the carbon fibre, so it'll harden nice. I reckon that'll do. I'll let that harden overnight. We'll come back tomorrow and we can see how good that's sitting in there. So some of the epoxies run up on the front of the bonnet there, but we're going for 200 kilometres an hour, not for good looks here, so it's not going to be perfect. That's it. I'll stop marking around.